election? What if somebody tries to mug you? What? What if your government tries to throw you in a can? What? You're gonna want a shotgun. Oh. What? One automatic rifle and a lot of ammo. Gun? Yeah, gun.
We're all set to riot. Buy a gun before you lose your Second Amendment. Buy a gun. I'll burn you out like a Waco. They'll stick your ass in a camp. Jack for the cops in riot gear. Gonna kick your ass and laugh. The revolution is on its way. Better lock and load your AK. Buy a gun, 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 buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. Buy a gun, 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 buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. We're all set to riot. Buy a gun before you lose your Second Amendment. Buy a gun. They gave your money to the banksters. They stole your pension funds. It's time that we took to the streets. It's time we had our turn. A revolution is on its way, and the founding fathers would say, buy a gun, 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 buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. Buy a gun, 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 buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. You got a riot in the streets. Revolution's not clean and neat. You got a riot in the streets. Revolution's not clean and neat. You gotta drag them through the streets.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Tuesday. We are live. This is PrimerTime on UCY.tv. My name is Michael, and in light of Vault 7 leaks, I love my old-ass truck.
I'm Nicholas. It's good to be back, even if your back sucks like mine does.
Yeah, dude, welcome back. I'm kind of sorry you missed last week, man. It was had a pretty interesting interview with a guy who's into 3D printing and kind of like moving stuff around in a different way. He's got a new kind of business model, and you ask a lot better questions than I do, and it just would have been a lot better if you were there. But yeah, Alan Morgan of Innovum was our guest last week, innovum.com, and
Cool.
I'm gonna cruise on down there and I'm gonna go see him. And he was making 1911 grips there, just directly in relation to firearms, and we had a little discussion about 3D printing and firearms and the direction that moves, and some kind of other interesting things that I didn't know about, like there's 3D printed wood and 3D printed aluminum, and like mixed in with polymer and stuff. So yeah, pretty interesting. So too bad you missed it.
Well, anybody who remembers John Wayne Bobbitt knows that they've been doing 3D printed wood for about 20 years now.
Ding.
That's good. Yeah,
I think that may be triggering.
Yeah, the big thing was that last week I pulled a muscle in my back, and as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that I'm not as resilient in terms of flexibility as I used to be, and it was one of those where you just do a very small movement, muscle just went nuts, complete spasms all the way down through my legs. I couldn't stand up straight. And then when I came back to try and stretch my back, I kind of got locked in an arched position. And, just for the last week, I've been on physical therapy and pain medication and some muscle relaxers. And it was just not conducive to being able to have a coherent show.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, that's a problem of getting old. I mean, God knows I've like twisted my back and put myself down for a couple days, and a couple of weeks, actually. It was a couple months that I put myself out with a twisted back. So,
the way I look at it is, you do 23 years of road marches, wearing 40 to 50 pounds on your back, carrying a weapon, carrying ammunition, sometimes a radio, and you do that every 3 months, usually for 12 miles at a time. It takes its toll. You have quite a few quite a few guys who have significant knee, hip, and back injuries leaving the service. And if you don't trust me, just take a day and go down to your local VA clinic and see what the veterans are going in there for. You'll see it's a lot of what they're actually looking for treatment on.
Yeah, it's a lot of joint injuries, I'd imagine. A lot of joint injuries, a lot of neck and back. I would imagine that's a majority of the physical issues. You know, guys who are all with guys that still have all their body parts.
Yeah, and that's not to say anything about the guys who are qualified parachutists, guys who've completed airborne school and have done.
Oh yeah, knees, neck, back, hips. Yeah, probably jaws. Yeah,
numerous joint injuries, and they probably lose 2 inches from their original enlistment height, and then by the time
don't worry, they're gonna replace you with those handle robots anyways. Did you see the video for that from Boston Dynamics?
No, I didn't see
you
that.
Missed out, man. You gotta start watching these links I send you. This thing is
so the interesting thing is.
Oh
Yeah, so the interesting thing is if anybody has CenturyLink out there, run in the opposite direction, because what we've done is we've basically cataloged some internet connection speed that I've been having trouble with, and basically I'm receiving about 1/10 of the service that I pay for. And after talking with Shaquithia from Philadelphia, I was about ready to cancel it.
Don't be making fun of her.
What was that?
She might be
that was
listening.
her name. That was her name, Shaquithia.
Like with an E?
Or an S, I don't know. However you, I suppose you could spell Shaquithia with an E up front. It's probably silent. So no. So basically, what I had told her was that having to deal with crappy internet affects a lot of the things that I want to do, whether it's let some streaming internet or some movies on for my kid, or let my other kid do some homework, do the show. It's horrible. So we're looking at probably getting back about a year's worth of internet service fees, as well as getting upgraded no charge for about another 25 megabytes per second speed. So we shall see.
Well, good. I hope it works out for you.
It would be much nicer. That's for
sure. I'm used to speed slower than that. I live rural, so internet is limited here. So whatever.
We actually have in my area, we have something that's supposed to be called gigabit internet. If you've ever heard of Ting, that's coming to my neck of the woods, but they're branching out from the center of the city, and they're going to outlying areas very slowly. So that's what we're looking for.
The next thing to blow your money on. So listen, let's hit what this show is about. Black Hills Ammunition. What do you think about them?
So Black Hills Ammunition, from time to time, they go out there at SHOT Show and they do one of the ammo exhibitions. They'll let you shoot it and all kinds of stuff, and they'll showcase their ammunition. I particularly have no need for it. It's very expensive, and it's not widely available, so I don't ever really shoot it.
Well, guess what? It's probably about to get more expensive and less widely available. It has been chosen as the FBI hostage rescue team load for in 300 BlackOut. They are the sole supplier.
That's awesome. That means that Remington will still probably be making the box with the 110 grain Barnes ammo at Walmart. So I will be partaking of that stuff.
Right. So we know that usually stuff from Black Hills, like their specialty loads, come out to be about $1, $1.25 a piece. Through the various calibers. What do you think it's going to do to the price of 300 BlackOut?
So I really don't think that's going to have anything to do with it. When you take a look at it, most people that are in the special operations community are looking at the 220 grain offerings because they're shooting it suppressed. They're looking at the audible factor, and they're trying to use ammunition that's not going to give away their position, but they're trying to retain the opportunity to switch to the standard, you know, supersonic ammunition in order to go ahead and reach out to farther distances if the need arises. So there's quite a few manufacturers that are out there that are offering different configurations for the ammo. You've got Hornady, which is coming out with a couple different lines to include the black line of ammo. Also, they've got.
I saw a box of Hornady Black. It didn't really. It was a black box, and I read it, and it didn't say that it was just a full metal jacketed bullet. There wasn't anything special about it. It didn't have any ballistic tips.
It's
it was priced
for the
accordingly.
AR.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was priced accordingly. It was like I think it was maybe $11 a box, something like that. You know, when you've got the single boxes, you know, anywhere from if it's not specialty ammo, it's it'd be between like $9 and $13 a box.
Right, exactly, and so I think what most people are looking at when they're firing the supersonic ammo is they're looking at the 147 grain full metal jacket. That's pretty much the standard in what I've seen. Dependent upon who the manufacturer is, just for plinking ammo and for getting things sighted in. Some people drop down to the 110, the VMAX loads for varmint loads, and maybe up to the 125 for the polymer tips. But then also they go up to their own specific hand loads and or up to the 220 grain subsonic ammo.
Well, the reason why I was bringing up is this going to impact the supply of, in specifically the Black Hills ammo, because there's a cult following when
there is
who gets adopted, and I mean we saw that with the 40 cal, and when the FBI went to the 40 cal, it was like, this is the next sliced bread, and I saw immediate problems with the 40 caliber and the way it was being handled by the firearms manufacturers, not necessarily the cartridge. I'm not necessarily a fan of the cartridge. I think it lends itself to being just a little too large in inappropriate designs. But that's exactly the problem with the consuming public and the manufacturers. It wasn't appropriate designs for that firearm, and we see that same kind of like, I want to maybe term it a fanboy kind of syndrome or something. We saw that with the Beretta 92, and the Beretta 92 is a fine functional pistol. It's got certain features that I don't necessarily, as my tastes have refined in life, there's things about the Beretta I just don't like. That's not to say it's not functional, or it's not a well-made company or a well-made product from a fine upstanding company and all that. There's just features on it that I prefer to operate maybe in exactly opposite directions or something like that.
Right.
But it's got an undying legion of fans, and it's got a perpetual supply of spares, because I mean, you go to any gun show and you'll be able to find old Parkerized Checkmate magazines, or something like that probably went through the first Desert Storm experience, and you can find those for like $7 all day long, and then plus so there's that, and the reason why I'm saying that, because I'm also seeing that now with the SIG 320, which was recently chosen by the military to be the M17. And I want to say that maybe 3 months ago, you could have bought a SIG 320 for about $420. You could have bought it for less than a Glock. And now the SIG 320 is $600, which is really kind of funny considering the Army is getting it for
paying $207.
Right. So like the fanboy street price now is $600 and up. And people are selling it as, this is the next great pistol from the Army. I still have doubts that it's going to. I think there's going to be some sort of like concession to Glock. I think Glock has the power to force that. But, that's here nor there. But, I mean, they are using this is the new weapon as their kind of their push to sell on the used market. And I don't know, that kind of disturbs me. I mean, it's the way things go. But I'm wondering if you're going to see the same kind of thing happen with the 300 Blackout, and then maybe like an increased interest in the 300 Blackout, which inevitably will mean dried up supplies.
Well, I just went ahead and dropped a link into the chat room, and basically it's going to Midway USA, and you're taking a look at anything from Hornady's 110 grain Zombie Max ammo in 300 Blackout at $17.99, roughly 90 cents a round, all the way up to looking at the you're looking at something called Silverback, which is from Guerrilla Ammunition, as well as the Silver State Armory at
Silverback,
39. Yep, 39 and $33.
That's not sold as like riot control ammo or anything, is it?
Well, it doesn't have a picture of Michelle Obama on it, so I don't know.
Manufactured in Ferguson.
There you go. So that may be the standard ammunition of the quick draw competition. I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe since it's such a minor change, there might be a greater use of 300 Blackout throughout the military. And that's one of the things that a lot of people over time have started to talk about, whether or not we need to move on from the 5.56 and go to something that's in 6.5, the Grendel load, or whether up to 300 Blackout, or even up as far as 458. So, who knows?
Well, in case Hannibal, comes over the Rocky Mountains with his elephants, we'd need 458.
Well, and the way I look at it, I'd probably be joining Hannibal at that point, because he's going to go take on Rome.
Or that 50 Beowulf. Have you ever played with any of those?
I have not played with him. I've seen him, so yeah.
That's another extensive, expensive round that
it was a solution to a problem that didn't exist.
Right. It was fuck you, we can.
That's right. Why is the United States sending the Abraham Lincoln carrier group into the South China Sea? Because it wants to.
Yeah, because we can. We got 7,000 nukes. We can pretty much and honestly, our president's in the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. No metric standard country can make the same claim.
Oh no. So check this out. Upon arriving home today from work, I have a nifty little box, and I have waited until the show to go ahead and take my old trusty key ring and rip it open and see.
Oh my God!
Unboxing.
We need some dramatic music.
So dun 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 dun. We have a very well packed with some stuff that I'm going to give my son so he can jump on and make fart noises out of it later. There is a 10-round Magpul ARP mags that I will definitely use for hunting. But also the crowning glory is the Burris Optics AR PEPR mount, proper eye position ready Picatinny mount, and the 1-inch configuration that I will go ahead and sit atop my 300 Blackout. So
and when you mean the 1-inch configuration, you mean the diameter of the rings is 1 inch,
right,
to accommodate a scope tube that's 1 inch, because there's 1 inch and 30 millimeter,
and there's also 35 millimeters too, just in case you didn't know.
And then 5 millimeters.
Yeah, the European standard is 30 millimeter for those tubes, slightly larger in diameter than 1 inch, and the 1 inch is a North American standard for most scopes. For those of you who have AR rifles, some people have in the past just had to be content with having two separate rings. Nikon makes a P series of 2-piece ring set, which you can mount to the front half of your upper receiver prior to where your rail usually joins. That way you have a monolithic fit, and you can make sure that the rings are on the same plane without any kind of play. This mount is slightly cantilevered. It has a lead to it, so you can offset from the charging handle, and it just sets your scope a little bit forward. I'm actually pretty pleased with this. Did some research, and actually my choices were really going to boil down to whether or not to get the Burris and the Nikon M308 mount. Very, very similar profile, very similar design. I'm actually, like I said, I've done a lot of research on both of them, and I couldn't really justify spending the extra cash on the Nikon, but these were both very well recommended, and the price was right for the Burris, and I did get those from Optics Planet. With free shipping, it took about a week for those to get here. So like I said, the shipping could have been faster. I think I wouldn't have minded paying a little bit for shipping, but that and the Magpul PMag, those were actually pretty decent. I was pretty happy with those. So
okay, so
mounted.
Here's something, and I hate to endorse the great Satan, but I was looking for a
endorsing the
sorted.
United States.
I was perusing for some items, some spares and whatnot, and one of the links actually took me to Walmart, and I did not realize this, but Walmart is, like, I guess, trying to compete with Amazon, but they're selling things that Amazon won't sell, like firearms and ammunition. And
yeah, certainly. And so one of the things that
you can order it online and have it shipped to the Walmart and have it picked up like in 48 hours.
Yeah,
free.
and that's one of the things that a lot of people are actually saving quite a bit of money on. When you go to Walmart.com, you can pretty much, like you said, you can search just like you would Amazon, and they have the purchase and then pick up at store option. So when you think about it, if you just go in here and let's see here, we'll go in here, we'll
6.
yeah, so certainly you can take a look at ammunition. It comes up as a search term, and right off the bat, it's taking me to their listings. These are in-store purchases only, so you can't buy them online, but it'll tell you.
You cannot buy them online and have them shipped.
No, you cannot. They are in-store purchase only.
Oh well, screw Walmart then. Forget it. I thought we were on to saving something. Screw you, Walmart. I should have gone with my first instinct.
Yeah, and that's liability issue. So, yeah, that's one of those things. When you take a look at the Nikon M308 one-piece mount, it's $10 more expensive than the mount that I picked up from Optics Planet. So, that's basically why I went with that.
What are the chances of the thing from Optics Planet being counterfeit? Because they do a lot of stuff with, like, NC Star and Sightmark and shit like that.
Yeah, so those brands, I have never had a problem with Optics Planet, and not only that, I have often found that a company that takes the time to list about how to identify counterfeits as well as how to properly sight in rifles and things like that, they tend not to deal with counterfeit things coming out of China.
That's cool. As long as you're comfortable with that. I have seen a story recently about I can't remember exactly what the product was, but it was something that was in the $400 range in the optics, and it was a counterfeit out of China, and it was
probably an EOTech.
No, I don't think so, because an EOTech is $1,300. They would price it appropriately on Amazon.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Whatever it was, there are counterfeits.
So that wasn't the only thing that I happened to pick up. There was some additional pieces, and that was from actually an in-store purchase. And I went ahead and finished that build of the 223 Wild and received the upper back and ready to go. So I went ahead and picked up a foregrip, something to go ahead and give my 223 Wild something to give a little bit more stable shooting platform, as well as what probably every shooter could use, very few shooters ever purchase, was a set of dummy rounds. And the reason I picked those up is that I'm a big basics guy. If you can master the basics, chances are you'll be able to move on to the greater things with greater ease. But if you fail to master the basics, you're always going to have problems, no matter what you do, no matter what tricks you learn. Kind of liken that to growing up playing soccer. If you know how to dribble a ball and you know how to pass effectively, you know how to aim your shots, chances are you're going to be head and shoulders above your field. So the reason I picked these up is to go ahead and just maintain the muscle memory and be able to, practice my immediate action procedures. And you never know. I might be out at the range with one of my buddies and slip one of these into the magazine and see how he reacts.
So let me ask you: are these the kind with the little rebounding firing pin on them, or are these just like a solid dummy? And which brand are they?
So they are Magpul. So they are solid. They're not the A-Zoom snap caps that give you the the soft primer surface for you to strike. These are straight polymer, and they are flat across the back. They are the 5.56, and they're just hard polymer from Magpul, and they were not expensive. They were like $5. So they're about $1 a piece, but they'll last you for the rest of the time that you're alive.
Oh, absolutely. And that's kind of a little nifty trick to play while you're training. I mean, it's always nice to go over the corrective action.
Yeah, certainly.
I think that's the lack of my desire to function with corrective action has kind of like pushed me to a few certain items that I know have no problem. And so yeah, I see the need to practice with it, and I think it's nice to have them. I do not have any, but I will say that I do dry fire a 22 with spent 22 cartridges in there to protect the firing pin.
Yeah, definitely. And this is getting back to these dummy rounds. This is one of those things that when you see these guys that are walking around the gun show with their AR-15 strapped to their chest, they have the shirts that say Pew Professional. It's interesting to see if these guys actually know how to clear a stoppage. And one of the things that I see on a range is more often than not, no, they do not.
Yeah, I think that's a result of improper maintenance of an AR-15, because an AR-15 is kind of temperamental. It's not. If you go out and shoot an AR-15 and you shoot 150 rounds 3 weekends in a row and you don't clean it, that fourth weekend you go out, you're going to have some issues.
Yeah, certainly. And these weapons are not they're not user friendly in terms of maintenance. They are maintenance intensive, and even just preventive maintenance. I mean, the Army makes a magazine called PS Monthly just for the fact that, hey, you need to be reminded about what to do to maintain your weapons.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like I know that Kel-Tec is not like, it's not military grade or anything like that, but they could take that PLR or that SU-16 design that they have, that little piston-driven thing, and use the same magazines and just make it out of aluminum rather than polymer, and that would be a perfect rifle. It's light and it's indestructible. I mean, other than the fact that it's made out of polymer, but I mean, the operating design is indestructible. It'll eat anything, and a lot of parts already swap out with an AR-15 on it, and plus you keep the same magazines. Yeah, that's like, I don't know, it's a missed opportunity. Make that thing in aluminum, and you'll be a billionaire.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I've had some questions and dropped some links and some images in chat. Anybody that's listening or watching online that's been in the military will appreciate seeing Master Sergeant Half-Mast from the PS Monthly magazine. It's a blast from the past. Originally started in the Vietnam War, and it's been going strong for 40 plus years. So in addition to that, we have the Magpul, like I said, the Magpul rail vertical grip. This is not like the Grip Pod Industries folding bipod. This is just an additional handhold location that I will attach by Picatinny rail to the bottom of the 223 Wild. So the next purchase coming up will be a scope, and I will be doing my research and seeing what I need to do in order to make sure that I get the right one.
My next purchase is magazines and ammo. That's
well,
where
like I said,
I'm placing focus on. But that kind of like brings up an interesting subject, and it's something that I've noticed in like my own daily life in my little area. But there's all kinds of upset over Trump and whatever. Trump this, Trump that. Whether he's good, whether he's bad, whether he's indifferent, whether it's the Russians, whether it's the cartels, whether it's whoever. There seems to be a lot of unrest, and
certainly.
People are actually like regular people, not people who like kind of pay attention to the outrage that's been going on for the last I don't know 30 years or whatever. But people who have like regular jobs and don't necessarily pay attention, don't know who, let's just say, don't know necessarily who Alex Jones is, are starting to notice that these kind of riot things are happening, and they're sort of worried about, even down here in this little tiny area, sort of worried about that coming home. And the economy is not necessarily in a booming spot, no matter what Trump says about jobs coming back. I mean, there's confidence and all that, but confidence doesn't put money in your pocket. So people may not have something, and let's say you've got a budget of $250 and you don't have anything. What are you looking at?
Oh man, you put me on the spot. Well, what do you? So go ahead. Give me a little bit of give me a little bit of like some parameters here. Are we looking at a certain caliber? Are we looking?
We're looking at whatever you would feel decent for self-defense. Something that gives you a cheap means to practice and become proficient with it, and is suitable for self-defense, home defense. We're not necessarily talking about joining a 3-gun competition or shooting targets at 200 yards or becoming a tactical operator. You need something that you can bring into your home, low cost, and is capable of doing the job. Doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to work.
So, and that's with that, you may laugh, but I would probably end up thinking about going with the SCCY 9mm.
You know what? That's not a bad choice. Those are kind of a subcompact single stack 9mm. I believe they're single stack, right? They're not 13 rounds, are they? Are they? I thought they were like 9 rounds.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, they have a very good. They used to have a absolute replacement policy if you lost your firearm, and then some folks were abusing that. But I've heard nothing wrong about their function. I haven't heard a single complaint.
Well, I remember when they came out, the very first generation had some problems right off. And the company really did take care of it, and they're in the Generation 2 pistols now, and those have been flawless in function. Yeah, and they come in right about 250 plus or minus 10%, I'd say. So that gives you a polymer subcompact 9mm that gives you 2 magazines. You look that up real quick. You've got better access than I do. Look up
and one of the things a lot of people think about when they see the SCCY is they think, oh, it's a flashy gun because it comes in just about every color combination that you could ever want.
Right. There was a lot of pink ones for sale.
Yeah, certainly. They've got a lot of pink ones. For the backup. I just dropped a link in chat that shows a hunter orange, a very vibrant orange one, and then
That's the one you put
latest-
in like the breaking case of zombies box that's right next to the fire extinguisher.
No, that has to be the neon green one.
Oh,
And
yeah. God.
yeah, and they don't have a neon green one.
Well, that's probably bigoted somehow.
Well, I mean, they haven't gone into a partnership with Hornady yet, so
Yeah, really.
as,
Well, all right. So
as soon as they do, that would be cool.
that's a surprising pick from you. It's a
Most
it's a well thought out pick.
yeah, when you gave me the criteria of about the 250, that kind of limited where I was going.
It's very limiting. It's very limiting. Let's say let's throw a curve at that, and let's say there's the SECY is not available in your area.
Ooh. You know, I might have to go with the high point for that $250 price point.
I'd say a high point 9mm. Yeah, that's something to consider. Would you consider any other manufacturers of a small 9mm? Would you consider a Keltec? Would you consider, because I'm pretty sure you can get the Keltec PF9 right about 220, and maybe the P11. Probably.
I definitely would not go with Taurus.
I don't think I'd take a $250 Taurus unless it was one of two different models that they make.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be available in the new market by any means.
Yeah. Thinking off the top of my head, and meeting that price point, maybe a Keltec, maybe a car.
I don't think you're going to find a car at 250.
And like I'm saying, I'm thinking that maybe you could get a 380 from car at that price point.
You might be able to, yeah.
So
that 250 is a stickler because it really opens up once you get to 300. There's a lot of different choices, but times are tight. There's sometimes
and that's the thing. Yeah, I just took a quick look at car, and car is going for twice that. So yeah, I mean you're really limited, and then you got to not only think about that, but by the way, you got to pay your $23 or $35 FFL fee.
Well, and that's what I'm trying to include in the $250 price point. We're getting this brand new from big box store or whatever, the gun shop. That's this is the price out the door. So I think you've come up with a couple of different options. I'd say it if the question was posed to me, my first choice would be the Maverick 88 by Mossberg in the security configuration, which is a 20-inch barrel with a magazine tube that holds 7. And
yeah, so I mean, you're looking at the Maverick 88 being just minutely different from the Mossberg 500.
Well, there's a couple of there's small differences, but they're significant differences. And the two biggest differences are number one, the location of the safety. And in the Mossberg 500, it's on the rear of the receiver and it's thumb operated. And on the Maverick 88, it's down by the trigger guard and it's operated by your finger and by your trigger finger. And let's see. So the difference in the trigger group and the safety placement, and the Maverick 88, you're not able to change the front end into something stylish and whatever Magpul-y very easy. It's kind of manufactured to stay that way. And on the Mossberg 80, the Mossberg 500, excuse me. You can change that out and dress it up, Barbie it up as much as you want.
Right.
Big difference.
What would you think of a Mossberg Cruiser?
You know what? I don't like a pistol gripped 12 gauge. I've had one and it's fun and you feel very Terminator and it's really fun to rack it one handed and kind of point it and shoot it and but you figure out very quickly that it's insanely inaccurate, and it focuses a lot of stress in the palm of your hand and the webbing of your hand, and
Oh yeah,
yeah,
certainly.
I
mean,
would.
that's why shotguns are meant to be shouldered.
Right. So like a Mossberg Cruiser with that pistol grip, yeah, I would consider that for like, like fourth down on the zombie gun list.
I mean, you're not going to catch that at a $250 price point. You're probably going to look at spending about another 125 on that.
I don't know. Mossberg has some fairly decent deals when they start mixing up the 500 models, because there's so many different 500 models out there.
Right,
And
certainly.
and Maverick is basically the same shotgun, with pretty much the exact same reliability. I don't think it'll have the exact same lifespan as a 500. I see where the problem area on the Maverick would be the trigger group not being be under more stress than the one in the 500. The one in the 500 is very simple, and you can swap that out for the aluminum trigger group that's in the 590. But the one in the Maverick is you're stuck with it. Now I'm not
Yeah,
down.
and I'm looking at the
functional, and it's about $220 brand new.
I'm looking at the Academy list right now for the Maverick 88, and they are on sale for $179.
I've seen that before, 179. I've seen 169. Is that which model? Is that a six?
It's a 6-round with 2 3/4 inch shells, or 5 rounds with 3-inch. So it's capable of either one.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty good. I prefer the one that's got the 20-inch barrel with the 7-round tube. I prefer on a shotgun like that. I prefer a short barrel. I like my hunting shotguns, or birding shotguns, to be break action. Either side by side or over under.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's not necessarily
Yeah,
self defense, and that usually runs outside that 250 price point.
Yeah, like I said, I think for $250, you're going to get yourself about maybe the upper receiver of an AR. That's a $500. That's a $500 thing right there.
It's a difficult question, because it is such a tight budget for something new.
Yeah.
You can't. I kind of threw the question at you tough. So I took your first, and then we took your second. With my second pick after that, I'd really consider a 22 rifle, something along the lines of a Ruger 1022, if I could get a hold of a couple of magazines, a couple of the BX-20 magazines, and I'll tell you.
And I'm sitting there thinking, about coming in under that $250 mark. You can pick up the standard black 9mm polymer, the 10+1 with the 2 mags, right now for $229.
The SCCY.
The SCCY, and that's from a company that we've profiled before, Classic Firearms, and this has a manual thumb safety. So that's something to consider, because most guns you're not going to get that for that price. I mean, it's an affordable. This is concealable.
It's a single stack magazine. Is that correct?
Yes, as far as I can tell. So it's this one is the CPX 1, and the CPX Series 2 does not have the manual safety, but the 1 does. And SCCY comes out of Florida, and they're actually pronounced Sky. So it's one of those things that they had this awesome replacement policy. If you lost it and you were a registered buyer with them, they would replace it. If you provided them with the police report and yada yada, they would make it good. So yeah, for that $250 price point, I think you're going to be hard pressed to beat that.
All right, so if you're looking at Classic right there, and somebody, does Classic happen to have a listing for a Kiltech PF9?
Oh, let me go ahead and take a look.
And
That's,
we'll just say that the Keltec PF9 has a couple of claims to fame. They are the originator of that certain design, and that design was unabashedly copied by Ruger and turned into the LC9. They also
right.
unabashedly copied the Keltec P3AT and turned that into the Ruger LCP. Just, I mean, a straight up robbery copy of it.
Yeah. So what Classic has being offered by Keltec is their P11, which is almost the same capacity. It's 10 plus 1. You're looking at the same price.
That has the option to take Smith and Wesson 59 series magazines, which usually are 15 rounds and above. So you can take like the 59 and the 69, which give you extended magazine capacity.
Yeah. So I mean, and like I said, I think these are actually decent. Low cost. I'm not going to say cheap. I'm not going to say inexpensive. Because $250 is a lot of money to most people. These are good price points for folks that can invest a few shekels in some personal defense.
I think you made some very nice choices that are very suitable for somebody on the move. Mine are more designed for somebody who's going to be staying within their home and yard. And yeah, I think you've come up with 2 or 3 really good ones. And I kind of like the idea of the 1022 being able to have that used by multiple family members. Ammunition being fairly inexpensive when you can find it, if you can find a whole bunch of it. Inexpensive enough to train with, and people become familiar with and not scared of it. And
yeah, certainly
25 rounds is something that you can control and are somewhat accurate with. That's a hell of a lot better than 5 rounds of Magnum 500 Smith and Wesson that you can't hit nothing with because you're afraid of it.
Exactly. So yeah, that's one of the things to consider is price of the firearm, price of the transfer fee, price of the ammunition. So yeah,
then you get into items like extra magazines or slings and holsters and at that point I'd almost eschew my idea of getting a good holster. Just at that point get the $9 Uncle Mike's nylon. Just something to keep it in, something that you can, if you need to carry it, you have to, or get the cheapy sling that'll the $9 sling or something. But
yeah, and
the main thing is to have a way to defend yourself. And I mean, I don't know. I've heard the talk in my area, and people are starting to notice that there's unrest in places. And when people I mean, look, it's 25 miles to Walmart, from where I live. So
yeah,
people 25 miles away from Walmart start worrying about security. There's issues.
Yeah. Well, Michael, we need to go ahead and drop some knowledge when it comes to the firearm safety.
Well, alrighty then. First rule of firearm safety is every firearm is loaded until you visually and physically inspect and ensure that it is not loaded. Rule number 2 is keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction at all times. Know where the muzzle is pointed, and do not cover anything you do not wish to destroy. Rule number 3, know what is the target, know what is beyond the target at all times. And rule number 4, the most important rule, especially if you're going out to the big box store and looking at the Mossberg or the Sky pistol, keep the booger hook off the bang switch until you are ready to discharge the weapon. Do not put your finger in the trigger guard. Do not touch the trigger until you are ready to fire that gun.
Certainly. And yeah, that's one of those things. We've often said it. There are no accidental discharges. There are only negligent discharges.
All negligent. And there's people out there waiting to pounce on them.
Oh, certainly. And the problem is that people don't want to take individual responsibility when they do the wrong thing. So yeah, it's easier to say the gun went off than I put my finger on the trigger when I wasn't supposed to.
Right. And
So
they have pulled pretty much all the Taurus PT 111, so that the gun went off is not an appropriate answer anymore.
yeah. So we are actually looking at getting a blast of winter here in the next 4 days, maybe the last one for the year. But there's a pretty decent Arctic low pressure system that's going to push through the Ohio Valley into the Alleghenies and then into the East Coast. We're looking at actually picking up 4 inches of snow on Sunday, possibly getting a snow day off work on Monday, which also impacts my ability to go shooting this coming weekend. So I'm kind of chapped about that.
I have a feeling we are headed for the ugly summer here. It's the beginning of March and it's already 80 degrees, 85 degrees in the daytime.
Oh wow!
I've got
Do you already have the mosquitoes?
there's mosquitoes already, and they're rather fat, and I've got the air conditioner on right now, so yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Hell
we're
will
actually
rise
hoping
early
to
this
get
year.
yeah we're hoping to get the not only the snow, we're hoping to get the good freeze, because whatever mosquito bloom we've had, this will kill it and hopefully keep it at bay for a good time, because we've had alternating days with rain and temps getting up into the 60s. We touched the 70s last week. Before this last weekend, we had a cold spell, dropped us back down to the high 30s, low 40s, and we got up to 57. Tomorrow we're supposed to get up into the 60s, and then, like I said, the rest of the week we're going to be on a downward trend, culminating with Sunday getting those 3 to 4 inches. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty significant amount of snow in my area. We are in a higher elevation, just off of the eastern slope of the Blue Ridge, and yeah, we should be looking at some white stuff.
Well, that will give you your chance to get out there and prove your worthwhileness at snow camo construction.
Oh no, those days are long gone.
Yeah, that doesn't look like
I am not even looking at investing in a snow shovel. I'm looking at investing in a healthy 12-year-old with a strong back and a feeble mind.
that's the way to do it, because if not, your only other option really is a flamethrower.
Yeah. Well, that can be accomplished, but I have a neighborhood child who lived next door, and this child, I swear, is the spawn of Satan, because I'm pretty sure that he would know there was some kind of flame in the area.
Little kids and fire is, man, I don't know. I worry about parents today and the effort they put into their kids, and Jesus, it's a mess.
Oh well, yeah. So we're actually in my area, folks are getting ready to gear up for turkey season. We're going to be starting spring turkey, and I believe this is opening weekend will be the 8th and the 9th of April. So we are 1 month out, starting tomorrow. And people in my area, this is their time of year. This is what they look forward to, besides deer season. They look forward to spring turkey. It's pretty tough to get them out here. I mean, we have turkey in the area, but I've been told that if you can take a spring turkey, you're a pretty good hunter. And so most people are starting to actually find the turkey ammunition in stores. I personally picked up a box of number 4 shot from Winchester that was on sale at my local Walmart for about $5 a box. And I will be starting to get some practice out here with the shotgun, because Lord knows if that turkey goes up in the sky, I am not hitting it.
Well, I'll tell you what. What did you pay for number 4?
This one was, I think, $5.96 for the box.
And it's a box of 10.
Yeah, it's a box of 10.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to invest in the Black Cloud or whatever else it is that they've got out there.
Oh man, that Black Cloud is $30 for a box of 25.
Yeah, no, that was beyond my means.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you, I got a case of that stuff one time, and I went to Walmart in the middle of the night, and they had a case of it sitting out, and I don't know, I think it was $21 a box or something like that. But I knew I was going to go out and go kind of like shooting birds, unidentified birds of whatever kind flew over. And so I picked up.
Sounds like dove season.
It sounds like going to the island season is really what it was.
Yeah.
So I picked up a box of that, and actually the case of it, and took it and got the rest of the stuff I was getting at Walmart. And the girl went and actually, oh, I have to open this. I was like, okay, yeah. So she took one out, rang it up, and then just pushed it through. I pushed all 10 of them through.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a pretty happy camper. I did not let her.
Don't let her think back on that.
Yeah, because I mean that was like I made like $200 on that deal right there. I mean, not necessarily made, but saved. You know, I was fully expecting to pay that amount.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I haven't been fortunate enough like that. I think the next major purchase in terms of ammunition is probably going to be some 5.56. Start to get that stock up, and you know, at some point I'm going to have to get into just really rounding out the ammo collection, and you know, it'll be a box of 30-06 one week, a box of 308 the next, and then the 8mm Mauser going on from there.
What's your plan on the 9mm Wolf conversion?
So, you know, surprisingly enough, the Glock Model 35 that I have in 40 caliber is hard to locate the conversion barrels. Those 35s, they stopped making those conversion barrels some time ago. So it's gonna be a search. You know, that's
what about getting a new slide?
You know, I would just rather sell the pistol and come up new, because, you know, being able to take advantage of the Blue Label program, I could probably pick something up for about $430, and that to me would be the better way of going about it.
Glock 19, that's the one to buy, baby. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna buy it brand new. Glock 19.
Oh yeah, and then get the Generation 4 so I can, you know, try to resell it for, you know, 4 times as much.
Dude, I'll tell you what, looking at it like used, every Glock, don't matter what generation it is, as long as it is Glock, and it doesn't matter what caliber it is. If it's a 10mm or a 45, it costs more, but if it is Glock, it is $500.
Oh yeah, no matter how many times you put stuff down the pipe, it'll be $500.
It's $500 no matter what it is. If it's brand new, if it's used, it's $500. And
well, I mean that's better than the price of silver, right? I mean, that's a constant.
I know. I think the price of silver kind of keeps up with it. You know, I mean, aside from manipulations and all that, but yeah, the Glock. Everybody who has a Glock wants $500 for it. You will not find the $350 Glock out there unless you buy it a used one from a retailer.
Right. Well, you know, it must be that time of evening, because my internet feed is like really starting to crap out.
Yeah, well, we haven't even mentioned the chosen ones and enough to get them like cranky at the internet system. I want to give a shout out to the people in chat. Sorry I couldn't make it in there. I got internet issues myself, so
yeah,
that's where I stand.
Well, thanks. Yeah, definitely. Thanks to Jules for giving us a platform to do this. Hopefully, starting next week, I will have much better internet connectivity and should be able to be more consistent with being able to get online. You know, we've had those weeks where just we'll get some bad gaps in the audio, and hopefully this new fix will get things squared away.
That'd be nice. They finally took their thumb off of the line.
Yeah, definitely. Good to know, though, that CenturyLink has not repaired the midline switch that has been hit by lightning twice in the last year.
I don't know. The Russians called it painted rust. Everybody stick around. UCY.TV rocks. We got a few extra shekels. Throw them Jules' way. She puts her time and her heart into this. Everybody, thanks a lot. Stick around. Do what the song says. Buy a gun.